Welcome back to the channel. Today on this video, we're going to be working on the 74 F250. Going to be finishing up the Super Duty axle install, sending the frame off to powder coat, finishing up the valve train on the engine and permanently installing that, along with fixing the transmission and getting that all buttoned up in there, and then starting off on this cab. So doing more work on the Super Duty swap project, been working on the engine here, got the valve train all sorted out, everything adjusted. Now I'm going to do a final install on the rocker arms, get some valve covers on there, and then we'll end up getting an intake on there. Still some stuff to do on that. As far as the rest of the frame goes, got a bunch of stuff ordered. Going to be hopefully finishing up in the next little bit here. While we're waiting on more stuff to show up, going to end up pulling this transmission, fixing the input shaft on that. Got the transfer case on here and a gusset welded into the frame here, because in order to clear the transfer case, I had to notch the frame. If I was running a 205, it'd sit in farther, but the more modern transfer cases set out farther. And actually, it lines up with the front diff better. But anyway, I had to do a little bit of clearancing on the frame, so just went ahead and welded in a nice gusset so there wasn't any strength loss on that. So I'll probably put you up on a tripod, do a little time lapse of getting the valve train all set up, and then we'll go from there. So I got the valve train all set up, valve covers, all that buttoned up, working on getting an intake on here. Got an Edelbrock, went ahead and clear coated this also, and right now I'm working on getting alignment for the intake runners, make sure it's all lined up, and checking port matching. And I'm using a cheap little bore scope to check that out. Hopefully you can see this, but I can use this bore scope here to see how the intake ports are lining up and kind of bump the intake around, make sure it's all good. Then I'll go ahead and mark this so we got the proper alignment. When we go to bolt this back on there, I'll take the intake off, do some porting because it's a little rough in there, and we'll go ahead and bolt that on permanently. Intake's all aligned, bolted up and ready to go. Now we're switching over to the transmission. Already had this pulled apart. It's the ZF5. Got the case down there, gear set up here, bunch of other parts over there, and this is the main culprit and why we're pulling it apart. This bearing surface here for the pilot bearing is all galled up, so going ahead and replace this whole shaft. That requires a new shaft, new bearings, new race down there, and also adjusting the shim set. That is one thing you got to make sure to do when you're rebuilding one of these, is there's a shim set down in there that you got to go through. Found a cool write-up on oilburners.net. I'll probably try to link that in the description, kind of detailed how to go through that. So gonna jump into this, get this all taken care of, and then got some more brackets to start finishing up the rest of this Super Duty swap. And fast forward, and the transmission's all painted, put back together and ready to go. Got it sitting over here in the corner. And we have the engine at hoist out. Getting ready to pull this engine out. Kind of get you up to speed on this. Been working on the axle swap parts. Got a plate welded into the frame here and some gussets for the steering box. Hole cut out here for steering box clearance. I need to pull the engine out because eventually this whole frame's going out to get powder coated, so it needs to come out anyways. But need to reposition some of this stuff here and get easier access to the welding and stuff. So it'll be easier to have that out. Got some more things going along. Going to be redoing the rear spring hangers because that's just sitting too tall in the back. Got the front spring towers redone. A little different on the design, a little easier to manufacture. And just kind of pecking away on this. So going to get the engine out and get to doing some more welding. So the engine's out. It's sitting over here on the tire because I could not fit it on an engine stand with the flywheel and clutch on there. But it'll be fine sitting over there. Made some progress on the frame, got the steering box figured out, clearance cut, and plates welded in here to make it all look sanitary. Finalized a drag link bracket. That's 3D printed, but I'll get that transferred over to an actual part. Going to strip this thing down and get it sent out for powder coat. Could do chassis painting and stuff, but I'm figured by the time I put all the energy and stuff in, just have it sandblasted and powder coated, look pretty clean. And all these brackets, I'll also get those powder coated. And yeah, we'll get that loaded up on a trailer. Well, all stripped down, axles and all the parts out of here and loaded up onto a trailer. Got a pile of brackets back here. They're waiting to go. So yeah, I'll just keep on going on this. Get the axles out. Got to finalize some welding right in here that I can't do with this bracket on here. And then we'll get this sent out and start working on final assembly. Frame is back from powder coating. Like how it turned out, just a nice simple black. Got the brackets in a blue to match the truck and also to show off the parts I fabricated. Now it's just time to get these guys bolted on, front axle in, engine, transmission, and work our way back on assembling this thing. Well, as you can see, the engine and transmission are now back into the truck. Got the engine bolted down on the motor mounts. Still need to get some transmission bell housing bolts and some nuts for the transmission cross member there. Got some oil in the transmission, still kind of pecking away. Need to get different springs on the front here. I got them sitting over here, just need to get them painted. Those are springs out of a truck with a 5.4, so a softer spring rate to compensate for the slider motor versus the 6-liter, which is about twice as heavy as this. So yeah, just plugging away on this, get some springs in here and start working my way back. Got a gas tank coming, new mounts for the rear to lower that down so it's a better ride height. Got a transfer case going in here, just need to clean it up and then bolt it on and then work on dry shafts. Well, we'll wait on dry shafts so we get ride height. Once I get this engine bolted in here and some other stuff bolted on, we'll start working on getting the cab on here. And once the cab's on, then start working on some wiring and plumbing and fuel system and stuff like that. Well, we got a pile of metal here of aluminum that's gonna be the new fuel cell. Should be about 35 gallons. Now just time to weld it all up. Got some metal over there, over there. So definitely made some progress on this truck here since the last clip you've seen. We'll start back here at the back. Got the rear end in, got new brackets on here, all powder coated match, all bolted in. Gas tank is in, all welded up, baffles, polished it up, put a ceramic clear just like I did on the heads. Air motor fuel pump and a Holley fuel sending unit. It fits in there snug. If I was to do it again, I'd probably make some modifications, but nice solid fit. Got that in there. Started working on some accessory stuff up front here. Spark plug wires, routing, accessory drive and stuff like that. Gonna still want to get a AC pump on here before I actually start cutting the wires to length and maybe some more spark plug wire holders just to keep this stuff out of the way. But just kind of doing little things here and there. Have the cab outside. I'll go and show you that in a second. But really coming along on this. Going to do a short break on this and roll it outside, but it's probably going to be, this will be the end of the video for this. When we bring it back, we'll roll this back in and be putting the cab on and start doing the wiring and fuel plumbing and just work on, it's always been the plan to get a complete truck, but really got the chassis pretty well buttoned up here and then started to work on plumbing and getting the cab on. Now, if we want to go outside here, got the EcoBoost Ranger project sitting next to it. We got the truck cab here and it is getting prepped to do some media blasting. Gonna get the floorboards media blasted on the outside and on the inside so I can do a nice primer, do sow deadening on the underside, and then we'll end up putting some sow deadening on the inside here. But just get this sent off. We're gonna have the patina look on the outside, but still want it to be a good solid truck overall. Gonna be getting new glass. So yeah, gonna be sending that out, get the cab out, or the chassis out. Probably the next video you see, or one of the videos, will be me fixing up this Ranger. But that'll be it for now.